Hello again. In serving my suspension last week, and now being back on YouTube, I would actually like to take this moment to thank YouTube for granting me another chance as well as time for self-reflection, contemplation, and ultimately, hopefully, self-improvement. YouTube, genuinely, thank you. I also want to take this opportunity to apologize for my actions and my poor choice of words in relation to Vice President Kamala Harris. They were both ill-timed and in poor taste. Most importantly, I was simply flat out wrong. And it is wrong. It is wrong to denigrate any of our distinguished elected officials, as respect for authority, our political leaders, is both essential to democracy and can be argued the bedrock of our constitutional republic. I had no right to refer to or insinuate that a presidential candidate was a, quote, lying whore, and to flat out say it was morally reprehensible, perhaps bordering on treason. To help others avoid making the same mistake, I'd like to explain, if you allow me a moment, my apology and further self-reflection in context. Firstly, for the use of the noun whore, I apologize. Further, I apologize for wrongfully even making the implication that Kamala Harris has ever engaged in sexual intercourse in exchange for political gain, now knowing that her sexual affair with Mayor Willie Brown was completely incidental to her unelected appointment to the California Medical Assistance Commission, as well as the Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board paying her a salary of $169,000 per year plus benefits despite only meeting twice per month. Her relationship with those in power and subsequent appointed unelected employment is both irrelevant and, to quote esteemed Governor Tim Walz, none of my damn business. I was wrong. I was wrong to assume. Because America, when we assume, we make an ass out of both you and me. I also offer my apology to Montel Williams for using the descriptor of lying. I apologize. And I stand corrected. For example, even though Kamala claimed she was listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg in college in 1986, despite their recording careers only beginning in 1991, it was wrong of me to flippantly assume that she could only do so by, quote, lying through her imaginary DeLorean. And it was even more distasteful to state that, quote, the bitch would be the only time traveler they immediately sent back. A misspeak on listening to rappers at a time they have yet to exist is no reason for my harsh words, and I am truly ashamed. In addition, I wrongfully stated that while Kamala Harris was DA, her office violated defendants' rights by hiding damaging information about a police drug lab and was indifferent to demands that it account for its failings. I was given at the time unverified information by way of a direct statement from the judge involved in the proceedings, writing to prosecutors of Kamala that, quote, at the highest levels of the district attorney's office knew, which I now know to be nothing more than conjecture. And while the subsequent dismissal of 1,000 San Francisco drug cases and direct policy changes from Kamala Harris's office may have seemed to be directly correlated at the time, they amount to simple happenstance. Here on YouTube, we must assume the best of our elected officials and to question their actions, policies, financial connections, or to imply any ineptitude or malice is more than just inappropriate. It's un-American. I know that now. And if I am banned from YouTube, I do not deserve your support at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub for only $89 annually, for which you receive access to the entire Mug Club lineup, additional daily content, and you support the undercover unit. And yes, this hand-etched girthy mug. And so to YouTube And Vice President Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sorry. And it is without hesitation that I now retire this horrific motif of Kamala Harris suggestively embracing our most powerful emblem of freedom in the Statue of Liberty and promise that this gross display will never again tarnish the good platform and reputation of YouTube.
Steven and the masters of the internet. I am Crowder, Prince of Utopia, defender of the secrets of Castle Mug Club. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held my hand-etched mug and said, "By the power of Mug Club, I have the power!" And I became Steven, the most powerful conservative on YouTube. Together we defend Castle Mug Club from the evil forces of censorship. Steven.
Join Mug Club today for $89 annually or try it mugless for $9 a month. You can sign up at louderwithcredit.com/mugclub for the entire catalog, including Nick DiPaolo, Brian Callen, Mr. Guns and Gear, and of course, Alex Jones, along with 100% more of this show. Glad to be with you now that I got that off my chest. And we have more, it feels more spacious.
It is more spacious.
It's more spacious.
Yes.
More spacious, less cavernous. So.
Something's missing.
Yes. I don't know how you miss a void.
Yeah.
I don't know how you miss a space.
Maybe we should put something else there.
Stop it. So, because we do have President Trump Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt on the show today. She's going to be on the show, and we're going to be doing a rebuttal to John Oliver's Tim Walz Love Fest. He did that last night. Didn't really air it on YouTube, which makes me think there wasn't the positive feedback that he thought. And something that I've wanted to work on here for a while, so we're going to do this today, is if you want to know what the left is doing in this election, Kamala Harris, the media, right there, one and the same, it is pure projection. They accuse you and they accuse Donald Trump of doing exactly what it is that they know they are doing. And it's often overused, that term projection. It's often used as just sort of the I am rubber, you are glue defense. But in this instance, it meets the textbook definition of projection. Also, I got a mustache here in my mouth. It's gone now. So if at any point, by the way, this is a weekday show, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you're watching on YouTube, you know, we don't know how often we are here. They're likely going to try and suspend us for the next election again as we prepare for the election live stream of the century. So if at any point today you see this, head on over to Rumble, where they don't, well, I don't want to say hate freedom of speech, because YouTube is quite, I mean, like I said, my apology was genuine. I'm appreciative of them teaching me that we shouldn't be questioning our elected officials.
Yeah.
The bedrock of our society is to follow them.
You made it through this time without crying.
Is respect for authority in all facets. Obey. Let me ask you, if you could ask one question to Donald Trump during his X space tonight. Is it X Spaces? Live space?
The space.
My space?
It's just a space.
His space.
Not
Their
your space, his space.
What would you ask? What question would you ask? And we'll be looking at chat because I might be able to ask Miss Karoline Leavitt here today. All right, number 2, Captain Morgan, CEO, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
That's good.
And by the way, when you said the YouTube dump button, I was like, dear God, I pray that you've seen it already.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I believe they have.
If
Otherwise,
you see this later, if you see this again,
there will be people on the unemployment line.
That's true.
And when you hear this, you know him, you love him. He's going to be at the Plano House of Comedy tomorrow, August 13th. And he's been banned from X. We'll talk about that more tomorrow because it's ridiculous. So go and support him. Plano House of Comedy tomorrow, August 13th. jfirestine.com for all info. Josh, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. I'm learning a lesson myself currently.
Yes.
A lifelong lesson I found out.
We have all been bad boys.
I am a bad boy. I'm cleaning up my act, Steven.
Are you?
I'm cleaning it up.
Good for you.
I got a show coming out with my daughter. I'm cleaning up my act.
Good for you.
No cursing, no bad words.
Clean up your act.
Yeah. I might even clean shave.
filth and filth.
What?
That's Bill Cosby when he was talking about people cussing in comedy.
Right, yeah.
I just can't do any
The
kind
problem
of
is all the rape.
See, he didn't mention that.
He's like, you know, you're talking about you and the F word and all that profanity. Hold on, I gotta go rape a bitch.
At least I didn't cuss.
Do you remember that Comedians in Cars with Coffee with Norm Macdonald?
Yes.
They said that was the worst. I don't think that was the worst part. I think it was the rape.
Yeah. People say the hypocrisy is the worst part of
Yes,
Bill Cosby.
hypocrisy.
I think it was all the rape. But he was right about the cussing. And we can all do better.
Yes.
Okay, CNN. Stop anyway. All right. So, last night, John Oliver, who, by the way, and you can comment if, do you think he's funny? I thought that he was funny for a very long period of time. It's getting to the point of being grating when they're unironically using sources like Salon and Slate. I'm going, people still do that? I kind of thought you moved on to trying to maintain the appearance of being somewhat objective in the sense of looking for the joke as opposed to the political activism. But I still think he can be funny. Last night, this late night show that does it once a week, I believe 12-episode seasons, no one works harder.
Stop it.
They ran a puff piece on Tim Walz, which really amounted to nothing more than propaganda. And it was so praising it would make his wife, who loves the smell of burning tires, jealous.
The seeming panic in the Trump campaign right now is perhaps best exemplified by the reaction to Harris's choice of Tim Walz, your friend's nice dad, as her VP candidate this week. In terms of general vibe, he's basically the exact opposite of J.D. Vance. For the past week, Republicans have struggled to find a line of attack on Walz, branding him as a socialist, which he isn't, labelling him as tampon Tim for providing feminine hygiene products in schools, and even getting angry
in
at the fact
boys'
the
rooms.
Minnesota state flag was changed on his watch. That is genuinely nice. Clearly, you don't have to ask Walz what makes him smile. You can see it right there, or in photos of him doing everything from holding a piglet to getting hugged by kids after signing universal free school meals into law, to him here seemingly remembering that he isn't J.D. Vance.
Okay, so line of attack. Well, let me just give you a quick recap before we get to the propaganda on his military service record. He let Minneapolis burn during the George Floyd riots, 1,500 businesses destroyed, over $500 million in damages that we know of. During COVID, he set up a hotline, a snitch line, so that you could snitch on your neighbors as rule breakers. He also said that being a socialist, socialism is just being neighborly.
Yeah.
He signed into law tampons in the boys' bathroom was the primary issue.
Right.
Tampons, taxpayer funded in boys' bathrooms, signed a law that allows abortion all the way up until and including birth, and he signed a law making Minnesota a trans refuge state for children to transition and effectively escape their parents, and he gave driver's licenses and free health care to illegal immigrants who will be automatically registered to vote as young as 16.
Bullshit.
But Oliver's biggest gripe was over people accurately pointing out Walz's military record and lies therein. Go.
Walz wasn't the one who pushed for the change, he just happened to be governor at the time. So that criticism is more than a little desperate, as was Republicans' attempt to target Walz's military service, which consisted of serving 24 years in various units and jobs in the Army National Guard. He was accused this week of stolen valor for having said in passing at one event in 2018 that he carried weapons of war in war, which he hadn't. He never actually saw combat, and the campaign has said that he misspoke. But Republicans didn't stop there, with J.D. Vance and others also trying this line of attack regarding the circumstances under which Walz left the National Guard.
I think it's shameful to prepare your unit to go to Iraq, to make a promise that you're going to follow through, and then to drop out right before you actually have to go.
OK, that is just not true. Walz retired in May of 2005. His unit wasn't ordered to mobilise until July of that year and didn't deploy to Iraq until 2006. Even the hard-right Wall Street Journal editorial board said the charges levelled so far about his military service look like thin gruel.
Okay, nothing that he just claimed is true, including Wall Street Journal being hard-right. So, and again, all references available, link in the description, loudwithcredit.com. You can check them every day. I encourage that you do. Here's the truth. Walz didn't misspeak. He was very, very clear in what he stated several times. Here's the first one.
We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Okay, doesn't sound like a misspeak, not the only time. Check the references. Here's another truth. Contrary to what John Oliver wants you to believe, and the truth here matters because the context makes it even worse. Walz absolutely knew that he was going to deploy before he retired.
Back in 2005, a warning order went out to the 1st Battalion, 125th Field Artillery to mobilize for a mission to Iraq. At the time, Walz served as the unit's highest non-commissioned officer, but months later, Walz would retire from the Guard, avoid the deployment, and run for Congress. Tom Behrens was next in line for the position and was asked to take his place.
I was like, well, for Pete's sake, this guy quit. And if I say I'm not going to do it, I mean, what the hell kind of leadership is that?
We were informed that we would be alerted to go to Iraq within the next upcoming year or time period out there. Start preparing your team, getting your team together, and let's get the process in play.
I know what you're thinking. Okay, well, those people may not be telling the truth. Well, don't take their word for it. Take Walz's own press release in March 2005, where he acknowledged that he may be deployed. That's the time when March 2005, Walz acknowledges in a press release, you know what, I'm probably going to be deployed. In May, he retired. In July, the unit was called up. The timeline is undeniable, according to Tim Walz. And he said that he used those weapons in war because he said it. Not because we said he said it. It's true because it's true.
And it wasn't an accident either.
No.
That was definitely a talking point. That was written down. That was like, oh, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get an applause break.
Yes.
It was like a comedian going like, this is going to kill, dude.
And by the way, he has the right to, if he has served in the Guard for 2 decades, to say, you know what, I don't want to be deployed. I'm going to run for office instead. The issue is the lying about it. And my biggest issue is the media lying about it. The media is not looking out for your best interest. Here's another truth, and this one is pretty important, that Walz lies about his rank.
Continuously.
He does it. I mean, I wish I loved anything as much as he loves lying about his rank. He referred to himself repeatedly as a retired command sergeant major. Now, I know this may not mean a whole lot to you, but it does to a lot of people in the military. Here he is in a 2006 campaign ad, Exhibit A.
Everyday heroes. Right here in Minnesota, Tim Walz is one of those everyday people. Coach to the state champs. Teacher of the Year, Command Sergeant Major, retiring 4 years late after a tour supporting the war in Afghanistan.
I'm not a politician, and I never plan to run for office. I've lived my life like most people, trying to do right by my family and my neighbors.
I just love, I'm not a politician, as they wrote, they put it through the editing process, exported the false rank. I'm not a politician. Okay, coach. Assistant coach as well. Here he is in 2009. His message to the troops deploying in Iraq.
As a 24-year veteran of the National Guard and the Red Bull Division and a retired Command Sergeant Major, I'm especially proud of you.
Okay, the truth is that he retired at the lower Master Sergeant rank because he didn't actually go through the coursework. All right? It's very clear. He could have done it had he done the work. He didn't. He pulled out, especially right before they were about to be deployed. That's the truth. He lied about it. It's in writing. He lied about it repeatedly. John Oliver wants to carry his water. Let me ask you this. Why? Why would a British comedian, want to lie to you about a potential vice presidential candidate. Why is everybody? And did you watch J.D. Vance yesterday on his Face the Nation? They want to tell you that he's great. Go and watch them. That guy didn't miss a beat once. And I'm not just saying, I didn't think he was the best VP choice because he doesn't really give Donald Trump necessarily what he needs politically. But as far as handling the media, the guy is a pro.
Yeah, he is fantastic. Look, the media is covering this. They're focusing on July, saying they didn't get actual deployment. That's a lie. He knew about it. The whole point we're making is that he knew the deployment was coming and he left. Then he knew he wasn't a command sergeant major. He knows that. The campaign, when they announced him as vice president, Kamala Harris introduced him as a command sergeant major, the highest ranking person to ever serve in Congress. Not if he retired as a master sergeant. That's not the highest ranking member to ever serve in Congress or somebody else that was higher. So this whole thing is unraveling, and they're like, these are minor points. No, you're just lying to the American people.
Right.
Just tell the truth. We would all been like, oh, thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Right. Yeah. I don't think anyone would have had a problem, right, Josh?
That's a respectable rank. Dude, I made the staff sergeant.
So.
Yeah.
Also respectable, but that's higher. It's too high. It's like, come on, dude, that's great. That would have been great. And you don't have to be the highest ranking congressman ever, which I guess he wanted to be.
Right.
He's not. There was a Navy vet.
There was a Navy guy, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was an E9, I think.
And by the way, we do need your help in communities across the country on Election Day. Consider enrolling at mugclubarmy.com because we will have boots on the ground on the election live stream of the century. We have investigative journalism units and team leaders, managers in every major swing city. We have Phoenix, Atlanta, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Detroit, Milwaukee, others to be named. If you find yourself in those areas and you want to help out, you'll be compensated for your time. But nothing happens in darkness here as we go on with this election because the Steele is already taking, what is this? Misinfo Nation. Oh, Misinfo Nation airs Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, from CNN.
CNN, Misinfo Nation.
Got it.
I don't even want to talk about it. All right. It's only going to make me mad.
You sure about
It
that?
better have a female host, and her name better be Miss Information.
Yes, Misinformation.
And God willing, she's white.
Misinformation and Madame Fake News.
Why are you doing that voice?
Shit.
No, it's that weird Irish guy.
Damn it.
No, that's less fun. But
That
F is that guy?
That'll do, Piglet. That'll do. So,
That's not what she says.
I want to get into the projection that you were seeing from the left. Have you guys noticed that? You can comment below or smash the rumble button, hit like if you see that the left they're practicing projection as a strategy. But let's lead with this. After weeks of ducking the media completely, Kamala finally announced her first policy platform. And though this isn't projection, it's just plagiarism, I figured it was a good jumping off point because you should know that it's plagiarism as well. The platform, removing taxes on tips.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America, including to raise the minimum wage.
Boo!
And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Do it now!
Write a bill! You're
You're campaigning against yourself!
So many people.
And she did the opposite of it. I'll get to it because it's a fact that when I get to it, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Does anybody else see this shit? I will. Just do it now, today. Today, you could do it today. We all know Biden's not doing. He's dead. He's probably dead. I mean, I pray to God that he's not. He's certainly not alive mentally. You could do it today. But where else have we heard this? Oh wait, that's right. President Trump said the exact same thing many, many times beforehand.
No tax on tips. We are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. It's called no tax on tips. I will eliminate taxes on tips for restaurant workers, hospitality workers, and anyone else that gets tips. No more taxes on tips. I also have no tax on tips. We're going to have no tax on seniors' Social Security, and we're going to have no tax on tips. Very simple.
Very simple.
So not only is there plagiarism, but Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act, which, by the way, increased IRS monitoring requirements for tips. Now, to be fair, she voted for no tax on just the tips. She does.
Come on, that's not something she'd ever support.
No. Or use for political gain.
That would never happen.
We're better than that. So she, as vice president, says the IRS needs to take more of your tips. You got to make sure that Uncle Sam knows what's going on with your tips. Donald Trump comes out with a wildly popular, by the way, policy platform, and she copies it.
Yes, but not before the left. Actually, if you guys research, go back. I think Robert Reich did a post on this. When Trump announced no tax on tips, they came out immediately and attacked it.
Right.
And showed data how this wouldn't help anybody at all.
Oh my God.
Do no good.
Yeah,
I was
especially not the servers.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. Literally, I didn't agree with the data at the time, but I'm like, I bet they're not doing that now.
No.
I bet Robert Reich is not posting about it now.
I would bet you they are not posting about it now.
You suck, Robert.
Whoa, that was sucker
You're
and
an
loser.
asshole.
That's better.
Yeah.
There
He
are
does,
other words I can't say.
He does, though. I do believe. And by the way, that's okay. It's 2024. So
I don't mean he sucks like that.
I do.
Maybe.
But it's okay because it's 2024.
He's a
matter of fact, it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's better. It's better. It's better. It's better. It's better than sex regular, which could result in children in population because it's 2024.
That's right. That's right.
It's more loving.
We don't.
So let's get to. We saw the plagiarism, the projection. They are just accusing you and Donald Trump of doing exactly. And let me please lay out the case here and check the references. Here's the claim that you see from the left, okay? The claim they have made, this is no surprise to you, but I want you to believe your lying eyes, your lying ears, that Donald Trump is a threat to and will destroy democracy.
If Donald Trump wins in November, he will continue to attack equality, take away freedoms, and undermine our democracy.
Donald Trump is a threat to the democracy.
Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy.
Democracy.
Is she asking a question there?
Here's the truth.
She was reading. That's obvious.
Kamala Harris, as it relates to democracy, received 0 votes.
God bless America.
0?
Not.
That's how many you need, though, right?
14 in their version of democracy.
Yes.
14.4 million Democratic voters chose Biden in the Democratic primaries. Okay. Kamala Harris did not. She's the only person in modern American history to find herself whisked into this role with no democratic process. And by the way, I even just mean democratic process for the Democrat Party. That's like it's a double whammy on no democracy.
If it's 0 votes, does that make it a unanimous decision, though?
I guess that's a good point.
So, what are we arguing?
That is a valid point.
Yeah.
And nobody didn't say.
Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, says the woman who has been installed into office with coffers of hundreds of millions of dollars that were never donated to her, but Joe Biden, because she is the least popular vice president ever. Okay.
It's like,
and I think Biden admitted.
It's like a third wife, getting everything. You're the least popular wife I had. I had 4 of them.
Yes.
I think even Joe Biden admitted he was forced out.
Yes.
In an interview he did over the weekend, it's like, oh, so you forced this guy out. That's democracy?
I forced him out democratically.
Oh, what'd you say? You're going to take off his week?
We voted to take naked pictures of him in the pool and blackmail him. It was a vote. So here's another claim that they are making. Again, the projection. You're a danger to democracy. They have no respect for democracy. The projection here is Donald Trump, duck and don. He's afraid to debate. Donald Trump is running scared.
A desperate and scared old man.
He's scared.
He's running scared.
Donald Trump is running scared.
He is scared of Vice President Harris.
He's scared. He's scared talking about Donald Trump, being scared to debate her.
He's afraid. He's probably afraid to debate her.
Trump is running scared to a safe place.
Oldest presidential nominee in history
That's
is
a problem
running
now.
scared.
And Donald Trump is scared, and he should be.
Trump is running scared.
Certainly afraid to lose an election to her in
That
November.
guy's afraid of a
Donald
brush.
Trump didn't want to debate Kamala Harris. He is scared to do so.
Donald Trump is scared. This is Trump running scared.
And running scared. Is Donald Trump okay?
Okay. So again, the theme today is projection. Here's the truth. Kamala Harris has done 0 press conferences, 0 interviews, and answered 0 questions in real time.
Oh.
Nothing.
It's been 22 days since Biden was forced out and counting. 22 days, 0 press conferences, 0 interviews, 0 unscripted questions in real time.
Jeez.
Here's another truth. Contrast with Kamala Harris. The scared Trump and Vance have been unbelievably available. You're talking about Vance, the impromptu press conference on the tarmac in Wisconsin, 3 interviews on Sunday shows this weekend, just this weekend alone.
Not friendly shows.
Not friendly shows.
The Lion's Den.
Donald Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists, right, the NABJ. He was there. He had a Mar-a-Lago press conference. Tonight he's going to be interviewed by Elon Musk. And again, he's the one running scared, Kamala Harris. 0 interviews, 0 press conferences, 0 questions. Projection. And it's sick. It's twisted. These people are mentally ill. Here's another truth. As to the debate claims, it is Kamala Harris who is refusing to debate Donald Trump. Here are the facts. Donald Trump has agreed to not 1, not 2. I know what you're thinking. Maybe 2.5. 3 debates.
3 debates?
The first debate.
Hold on. No, you can't. You gotta.
Okay. He wrote this. The first debate with Kamala Harris will be on Fox News on September 4th, 2024, live from beautiful Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Lots of Amish, lots of wood. The second debate will take place on Fake News ABC, home of George Slapadopoulos, to be anchored by David Meir on September 10th at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The third debate will take place on NBC in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on September 25th, 2024, to be anchored by Lester Holt. I don't know what race he is, but he's not bad. Details to follow. I look forward to seeing Kamala at all 3 debates.
DJT. Like we don't know.
DJT.
DJ.
You know me. So they say Donald Trump is avoiding debates. 3. Agreed to 3. Kamala only wants the ABC debate with the anti-Trumper George Stephanopoulos, and she will not agree to another debate until after that one, largely to gauge how it is that she performs. Let's go through, by the way.
Of course that's what it is.
Of course that's what it is. And why do you think she might pick ABC? Well, look, check the references. The link in the description. Let's look at their ties. George Stephanopoulos was a Clinton campaign advisor. John Karl, he's the ABC chief White House correspondent. He wrote 3 hit piece books on Donald Trump.
Yep.
Martha Raddatz blamed Trump's rhetoric for his own assassination attempt. Dana Walden, Disney executive. Portfolio includes ABC News.
Yep.
Longtime personal friend of Kamala Harris. And worst of all, ABC is the place that hosts The View.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
What?
No, it's not about race. No, it's about.
You sure about that?
But it's not about race. This is white people doing it to white people.
Fine.
But by the way, ABC, NBC, CNN, he's agreed to go. Let's just assume that you think Fox is going to give him softballs all night long. He wants to go on 3 different debate stages that are anti-Trump.
After having already done one.
One, right. So CNN, I'm including that when he wants to go on 2 more not friendly locations.
Yes.
And then one Fox, she's like, no, we're not going to do anything until after this debate, because if I suck as bad as Joe Biden sucked, then I am not going to do that to myself again.
Right.
That's what she is thinking.
Think of the projection here. Don, he's hiding. He's scared. Interview. Show up at a conference where they're hostile. J.D. Vance, interview. 3, 1 day. Press conference. Interview live on X that will, where you're doing it without a net. Nothing. Not one interview. Not one press conference. Not one question. Debate. Donald Trump says, I've already done 1. Okay. We got 3 more. All right, let's go. She says, nope, only the one on the network that has direct ties to the DNC, including my personal friend. And then we'll see after that. Projection. Kamala is scared. Kamala doesn't want to debate. Here's another claim that they make.
Before we go to the next claim, how can they make that, how can the media push that lie when they're the ones accepting the debate, like NBC, ABC?
They want to push the lie. That's it.
We've agreed to the debate, but he's the one scared.
It's as simple as that. They know they're lying. That's it. It's that simple. The media lies. It's no longer ignorance. They are lying. They saw the polls, they saw the assassination attempt, and they are panicked that Donald Trump could be president again. And so now this is the first, it's by any means necessary. They don't even have the veneer of being honest, let alone objective. Here's something else that they claim, again, projection, that actually vote for this administration because crime went up under Donald Trump.
And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump.
Okay, here's the truth. No. And the reason they're saying it is because the American people have listed crime as one of their most important election issues. And overwhelmingly, this administration, the Kamala administration, has done poorly with crime. So let me give you a few key facts. Murder rates are up in major cities across America. Okay, Minneapolis, Walz's Minneapolis, murder is still up 150% compared to pre-COVID. And the little wordplay that they're using, like Pete Buttigieg said, I encourage, go look at the crime statistics. Go look at the crime statistics. And you'll notice this uptick. And then in some places, just boom, it drops. That's because crime reporting statistics were completely changed. They're underreported. 1/4 of law enforcement agencies don't report crime stats to the FBI at all. They completely changed the reporting functions. They completely changed the way that they measure crime. So actual violent crime is up in the places that measure it comparably. They were going up consistently under Joe Biden. It is irrefutable. They pulled a statistical trick. Again, it's projection. Crime was up under Donald Trump. Vote for us to be the party of law and order? What? You're the party of defund the police. You're the party of summer of love. Summer of love. They should burn. They need space to destroy. They're not going to stop, nor they should stop. It is projection. I'm telling you, they had a meeting and said, we're just going to drive him nuts. We're just going to say that he's doing the things that we know we are doing. That's Saul Alinsky 101.
And by the way, you said it's a trick. Let's rephrase that. It's a lie. Like, they're lying about crime stats. When John Oliver says, no, the unit wasn't notified until July, he's lying about that. In every case that they're talking about, the debates, they're lying about it. It's not just a trick anymore.
No, I'm sure he takes the subway.
Right, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He probably takes the subway, goes downtown all the time, probably.
Yes.
Hangs out himself.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll leave this like one of you. I'll eat myself a shawarma. What? So here's another claim. The projection is the theme. And this is because they know they did this, right? So just don't let this work. Really, just anytime someone tries to accuse you of something, they just go like, rah, just swat it out. Give it no credence. Just boom. Parry that jab and move right back in their face. Republicans are the ones, Donald Trump and Republicans are the ones who killed the border bill.
We had a chance to pass the toughest bipartisan border security bill in decades. But Donald Trump tanked the bill because he thought it would help him win an election.
They have flashing boo signs for the audience to know when to boo.
Yes. And by the way, it's the same person who, was made the border czar, and the media reported on her as the border czar, now say that she was never the border czar.
Axios.
So here's the truth. Again, this is a projection. He killed it. We could have done something. It wasn't a border bill. Okay, $118 billion bill with only $20 billion of those dollars going to the border. For contrast, $60 billion went to the Ukraine. Also, $0 went to the wall.
Oh, well, that's
so maybe Donald Trump did oppose it. Maybe Republicans did oppose it. Maybe everyone here did oppose it because we have all been talking about border security and a wall for a very long period of time. $20 billion out of $118 billion, largely going to process illegal aliens.
Oh, so more people in.
Just to make them
more
legal.
people can come in is not a border bill. They're accusing you of doing exactly what it is that they are doing.
Well, they're accusing Donald Trump also of doing things while not in office.
Right.
Like, maybe he has influence on a few people, but, I mean.
I hope he does, and I hope he helped kill that border bill that wasn't a border bill. How do you get to call it a border bill when less than 10, you're talking about less than 20%. At first it was less than 10%, then the final bill, less than 20% of the bill is going to the name of the bill. It's like buying a can of Coca-Cola and it's 90% Fanta. Like I ordered a Coca-Cola, like it says it on the can. It's not in the can.
That's when you start fighting.
Yes.
That might be good, though.
Could be.
No.
I doubt it.
Especially with some nice Takis, the extra fuego.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, that's what my stomach says, but my heart says yes. So, even though it's clogged.
Yes, it's running hard.
They're projecting now, we're serious, we're the party of law and order. We are the party that are willing to be, we are going to speak to the people despite giving no interviews, despite answering no questions, despite no press conferences. We are the party. Does anyone actually believe that the Democrats, leftists, are the ones who are serious about the border? I don't think so, because if you go to the Reddit cesspool, a place where you see leftists, day in and day out, you go to any leftist publication, message board, they were all saying it was racist to enforce the border. That's why the bill included no money for the wall. They are not serious about the border at all. Just yesterday, Catherine Harris reported on blatant failures to collect DNA of border crossers, which, by the way, is required by law.
they don't care about that.
And the lapse in doing this, collecting DNA, it may have contributed to the murder of Rachel Morin. Can't state it definitively, but we can state that people who are murdered at the hands of illegal aliens are people who would be alive if the government did their job in the first place. They are projecting so... have you ever, genuine question, have you ever seen a more clear example of this? I mean, think about Barack Obama. He wasn't so much projecting, he was contrasting. More of the same, hope and change. It was kind of vague, right? And it made people feel good. But he actually wanted to delineate himself from George W. Bush and John McCain, who were seen as war hawks, right? Saying, hey, Code Pink, I hear you, no more wars. In this case, they have no platform to stand on, which they also
had
accuse...
a platform, too.
Right.
Obama had a platform. He had policies to stand on.
He had something resembling a platform.
Yeah.
In this case, they don't, so they say Republicans have no platform. Okay, hold on a second. Drill, close the border, and deport. Those are the first two steps, Donald Trump. What are yours? Also, he said no tax on tips. Well, what are you going to do? Well, we need to unite. It's time. We're going to win this. Play Beyonce, freedom. They're projecting everything that they do onto you, onto the right, onto Donald Trump. And if you don't believe me, I think it's more perfectly crystallized in their newest and our favorite ad.
This election, we have a choice to make. Democracy or the single greatest threat to democracy, Donald Trump.
I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy?
Donald Trump wants to ban plastic straws. But Kamala understands the struggle of replacing plastic straws with paper straws.
It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. Yes. and then the little thing catches it and then,
Donald Trump claims to be a self-made man, but he actually got his start in public service, servicing senior citizen and San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown.
So of course I did 25, 30 years ago. So what? What does that got to do with anything?
See, Willie admitted it, and he banged Montel Williams too. He did it because he's racist.
Paid for by the Kamala Harris for President campaign.
It's an effective ad, I'll give them that.
Yeah, wow.
I believe it.
So let's look at this again. You have the plagiarism, but Kamala Harris and the left, they're projecting in every facet. What is it? Okay, Donald Trump's destroying democracy, or he will be a threat to democracy. Despite the fact that he was president, he relinquished power, and Kamala Harris is the one person in modern American history as a presidential candidate who went through no democratic process. He's running scared. He won't debate. He's already done a debate with Joe Biden, who you then ousted. You forced out, again, through an undemocratic process, and he's agreed to 3 more. Okay. Even though you have not done any interviews, any press conferences, or answered any questions. Crime, yeah, but we're the party of crime. Conservatives, you're the party of crime. The Back the Blue people, the people who said Black Lives Matter shouldn't be allowed to riot and destroy. $500 million of damages in just the great city of Minneapolis, Tim Walz State. Okay, so they are the party there that has witnessed crime skyrocketing, but they actually say that it's Republicans who are the party of lawlessness. And then as it relates to the border, actually, Kamala Harris, even though she's not the border czar, right? Even though she wants you to know that they are very effective on the border, but she is not the border czar, despite the fact that the media claims she was a border. They actually tried to get things done on the border. It's the Republicans who have no interest in securing the border. It's your fault. Hey, you watching right now, conservative American, why do you not believe in democracy? Why do you refuse to debate and engage in a form of ideas, running scared? Why do you want this country to be riddled with crime? Why don't you support the police? Why do you support the rioters and looters, conservatives? And why, conservatives, do you not believe in securing the border? Piss off with this bullshit. And then the worst part is she's campaigning against herself. Outside of the projection, we need to bring costs down. Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead, Egghead. Go ahead. What now? Now tomorrow, Egghead. Yes, now.
Here's a pen. Make it happen.
We need to secure the border. Go ahead. We need to bring crime down. Yeah, go ahead. Now. Yes. Not tomorrow. Yes, now. Go ahead.
Okay, boss.
It's close to closing time, though.
Yes. You've got almost 6 full months to do it.
That's how it feels, though. You know, you go into like a restaurant and 10 minutes before they close and they get all mad?
Yes.
We're closed. Well, that's how it feels right now. She feels like she's done working now?
Yeah.
I'm running for president. I'm done working. No one's, be back next summer on the White House door.
It's like she has a case of senioritis and she's letting you know what she is also not going to do in college.
You're going to catch her smoking cigarettes in the hallway.
Yes. That would actually make her quite cool.
It would be so cool. She was like unburdened by prices of cigarettes.
Unburdened by the emphysema that has been.
Yeah, that was better. Thank you.
By the way, this is why this is lying. This is election theft.
Yeah.
The media's job is to arm you, to provide you with information so that you can make better decisions. That's really their only job. That's the job of the news. It's not really the job of entertainment, but it's the job of the news. When they don't do that, they're actually robbing you of someone in that role who would actually serve you. It's like with ESG and DEI, they're not actually designed to help serve the customer anymore. They're designed to serve elite in power who can continue to consolidate that power in spite of what you want. Every now and then you break through. You saw it with Bud Light. Hopefully we see it with Dunkin' Donuts, with them naming yours truly and asking Rumble to ban us, and we appreciate Rumble having our back. This already is election theft, and that's why we have invested millions into the election live stream of the century, November 5th, 2024. Please do join up. It's $89 annually, $9 to go mugless each month. We have boots on the ground. We have a live electoral integrity map. Oh, that's loud.
Oh, hey, sorry.
A live electoral integrity map where you'll be able to go in real time and see any shenanigans going on. So we report on it now. We cover it now, so you see it leading up. But that night, nothing is going to happen where you will still have questions because we lost sleep over it. Go to louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub and do consider joining up. We do need more of you to make sure that not only do we do it this year, but we can be around in 4 more years. We have a 4-year plan to do this and to do it right and to fundamentally render legacy media irrelevant. Can't do it without you. Click that button if you're watching on Rumble. You said you have a new... by the way, Trump Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt is going to be on in just a few minutes.
Yeah, just a few minutes. So, by the way, I'm a little pissed off at the state of Pennsylvania because they recently sent out a post, saying that they might not have all the election results the night of the election, which means we'll just be in the chair a little.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but Florida's a really big state, and they have it same day.
Same day, yes. It's pretty easy.
There is no excuse for it.
No, unless, of course, you allow people to mail stuff in and count it 4 days later.
Sure.
That's fine.
And in Michigan, you can no longer audit elections.
You can't?
Effectively. No, you cannot.
Well, that's not.
You cannot audit elections.
That actually seems I'm Democrat. That one
Democratic. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I'm talking Michigan, the one where in one of the counties somebody lost, but then they actually our bad, and they flipped the result.
They did flip it. Yes, the state where the governor was fake kidnapped by FBI agents. Yes, that one.
Same.
Yes, which John Oliver also parrots as though it's true, which I don't know. At a certain point, you can't believe that he's that dumb.
Well,
the governor who was a subject to a kidnapping plot. You know it's not true. You know it's not. You know it's not true. Master, come on, Sergeant Major, Colonel, whatever he said. You know it's not true. You know he's lying. I'm sorry, these people, you'll never hear me say these people are, some are idiots. Some are idiots, like Joy Behar. She's genuinely a moron. But a lot of them are smart enough, at which point you have to accept the fact that they are lying to you. Did you say you have a new...
Yeah, I do. So Donald Trump is doing, obviously, his thing on X tonight. He did run an ad on X. This isn't a post on his account on X. This is an ad that he ran on X promoting it with basically a new campaign video here.
Okay, let's watch it.
Please welcome President Ronald Reagan, who has a few questions for you.
All of you will go to the polls, will stand there in the polling place and make a decision. I think when you make that decision, it might be well if you would ask yourself, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is it easier for you to go and buy things in the stores than it was 4 years ago? Is there more or less unemployment in the country than there was 4 years ago? Is America as respected throughout the world as it was? Do you feel that our security is as safe, that we're as strong as we were 4 years ago? If you don't think that this course that we've been on for the last 4 years is what you would like to see us follow for the next 4, then I could suggest another choice that you have.
President Trump. He'll make America great again.
I like it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good ad, effective. So
focus on the contrast. I've always said that. Just focus on the contrast of the policies.
Yeah, and I love how he used Reagan's words, essentially, to ask questions that are still questions that need to be asked today when you go to the polls. So he wrote in his post, "Are you better off now than you were when I was president? Our economy has shattered. Our border has been erased. We're a nation in decline. Make the American dream affordable again. Make America safe again. Make America great again." I should have let you read it because it would have been better. But,
well,
Trump voice.
Yours sounded more serious.
Mine did.
Yes, it did. You have a good voice for radio.
Without Donald Trump as president,
radio.
Yeah. Chaos reigns.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Nice. So she's Leavitt's doing another interview right now. So she'll be coming off of that and coming to us in just a minute here.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those situations where I do want to ask her because the public believes that there's a lot of momentum behind Kamala Harris. Now, if you check the actual polling average, it is tight. The Vegas betting odds have switched. They do need to start doing something different, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, I would say, than what they're doing right now, in order for the public to believe that they have a plan. They could be holding back right now.
I thought they were. And they did I just saw a lower third on CNN that said that they had a $37 million ad buy reserved, the largest one of the campaign so far. So I feel like this is potentially the time for their counterpunch. Because, you can't get any bigger in a race like this. I don't know, again, we've talked about if this is unprecedented or not, but having a new candidate. Right. You're going to get a giant bump from that nothing is going to come back.
Well, the convention. I said convection.
Well, the convention is the next thing. So, brand new. The convention gives you a bump, but nothing like having a new candidate. Especially when you were so
It could, because it's continuing the momentum. I'm hoping that he has a counterpunch ready for the convention because that's another small bump.
Yeah, I agree. So I think he can do something to mitigate a convention bump, but he could not.
They're talking about right now $37 million in new ads, which is a perfect lead-in to Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt.
Big on two must-win swing states. We're talking about Georgia and Pennsylvania.
Wolf does not look happy ever anymore.
The former president is now facing
I know. Well, that's not quite what you see.
They have Harris up 13 in Pennsylvania?
Well, it improves over Biden's performance.
Oh, okay.
See, this is misleading. They're like, everybody's going to do exactly what you did. Oh, she's winning.
Has Trump once again making outrageous claims, saying this weekend with no evidence that Kamala Harris
other than the photo.
Yeah, other than the photos of the AI.
With the photo, but there is a photo.
There are photos that clearly look like AI, a reflection where... Yeah. The reflection on the plane of the crowd, for people who don't know, there's the accusation of AI that they added people in the audience because the reflection on the plane, you can see the reflection, there isn't the crowd. It's like Bruce Willis looking in a mirror in Sixth Sense. It turns out, I was a shitty candidate all along. Like, that's what it is. Now, you may not agree with it. You may not be able to, but you'll never be able to fully prove it because the media won't even try to prove it. They won't even try to fact check it. I've seen quite a bit of evidence that seems like there's AI that has been taking place. I've also seen some fake news articles that exaggerate.
I haven't seen anybody post or say that they were there.
Right.
Like, oh, that's not AI. I was there. Here's proof.
Here's my picture on my phone that every person on Earth now has.
Here's me, my wife, and her boyfriend.
Yes.
Beta males for Kamala.
It's just Wolf Blitzer photobombing. No. Get out of the way. Don't show the empty bleachers.
So, you're going to see a lot of this momentum continue through the convention. I understand that. I think what they're going to do right now is kind of start to thwart some of that and start to point out the fact that she doesn't have any policies that she has for a platform listed on her website. We pointed that out last week, right? All you need to do then
is no tax on tips now.
No tax on tips. That's the first thing that she's announced, and it's not even original. And she already, her people, essentially, the people on her side have attacked it already as being something that will not help out the working man. Robert Reich, again, I'll go back to you on that. I'm sure other people did it as well. But I don't think you're going to see her take questions from the media until the first debate. That's my new kind of thought right now, is that she's going to try to run away with this as long as she can, because that bump she gets from the convention, she's going to try to ride that out with more rallies and no press conferences.
She's going to try and drag out the first debate to be after early voting begins.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, what is it? September 10th is the first? Is that the first?
I believe
debate
so. And
night?
if you were to do the first, and when does early vote, guys, can you, I don't know if it's the exact same in every state.
It's not. That's
the thing. What is? Can you show me some of the early voting states? I do know that in many of them they start, I do believe, in September. I could be mistaken. I certainly know that obviously in October.
Yeah.
So they want to drag this out and hide her. Like, that's what I said. I said they're going to follow the same strategy with Kamala Harris because the more she speaks, the more she's seen in public, the less likable she is.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And so it is a smart move for them. It's, of course, horrible for the constitutional republic. But if I was put in charge of managing Kamala Harris, I would say speak as little as necessary. Just only speak when necessary. Do not do any hostile interviews. We're going to run interference for you.
Yeah.
We don't want you out there. I would speak with her very, very frankly. That's exactly what I would do if I had a candidate who I believed was incompetent or dishonest with no qualifications. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And so, but what I think as Republicans, as conservatives, for the president, this is advice for all of us. Play like the polls are accurate.
Right.
That she's pulling ahead, that she's more likable, that she is trusted on the economy more than other people, that she is trusted on immigration, that she is trusted internationally to make the American kind of, dominance come back, that we've lost some of the prestige on, that she can take care of the wars. Pretend like she is and go out and destroy her record. I don't mind the AI thing, but I kind of do, because I'm like, that distracts. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I wouldn't get bogged down on going after Republican governors or members of legislatures.
That pisses me off. The AI thing, I'm kind of like, listen, just who cares? That going after somebody else who's a part of your party who can help you in the state of Georgia, going after Kemp, that's dumb. I'm sorry. I love the fact that he's feisty. I don't like the fact that in a state you really have to win, that you're kind of making enemies in the process. Like, don't do that. Right. Politically, that's not the wisest thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, just go and do things that will help the campaign.
No one's asking President Trump to not be President Trump.
No.
What I believe, and you correct me if I'm wrong, what I believe the supporters of Donald Trump are asking is to be that guy, to be President Trump on the issues that really matter. Go like a bulldog on those. And if you want to toss in an aside and of course the AI crowds and continue, but focus on the policy, focus on the crime, focus on the skyrocketing inflation, focus on the border issues, focus on the ousting and the dishonesty of the mental state of Joe Biden. Focus on those issues and go. Because you know what? If you have those lanes, you frame it in, you can attack because it's concerted. Otherwise, it can end up being huge wasted energy.
Yeah.
The animals or insects, whatever it is, that survive throughout time, it's not the strongest. It's the most adaptable, the most efficient. The same thing in most sports. It's not always the most powerful, the crazy, just fastest person. It's the most efficient. In other words, when you get to a certain point, super high performance, if you look at the Olympics, you look at the sprinters, the one person who's far more efficient with their strike, same thing if you look at a certain level like George St. Pierre. We've had him on the show. In fighting, he was very efficient. There was no wasted energy. Same thing if you look at a great chess player. There's no wasted moves. It's about efficiency. It's about conservation of energy, because at that point, everyone is super skilled, and that little energy expenditure that you need in something that matters, maybe that last home stretch, that's what can make the difference.
Yeah, and he's so good when he stays focused. That's the President Trump that we all love.
Right.
Is when he can go after people a little bit. That's fine. Like, I understand what he's doing when he's going after some of the candidates that he's opposed, right? But he has to stay so strong on the message, boom, aside. Back to message, boom, aside. I think going after other people in the party right now, not super helpful.
Right.
I don't think the AI stuff really matters. Like you said, it needs to be very quick and in and out and done. Don't give them that to talk about. Make them talk about the fact that J.D. Vance mopped the floor with people yesterday.
Yeah.
Make them talk about the fact that Walz's career in the military, there are questions about how he's been promoting it afterwards. Make them talk about that kind of stuff.
Right.
And the fact that Kamala's not answering any questions, because they are starting.
Right.
Even when Van Jones comes around and says, hey, she's going to have to answer some questions on Sunday shows, when they're saying, hey, it's still 20-something days. When J.D. Vance says, I respect the American people enough to come and answer these questions, that's good. Do more of that.
Picture it like a job interview, right? And you are the boss. You're interviewing someone for a job, okay? If Donald Trump came in, you'd probably have to have some pros and cons, right? You'd go, all right, seems very qualified. He has a good resume, but he might be difficult to work with, right? So he might be a bull in a china shop.
He might take my job.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, he seems ambitious.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Taking your job?
Yeah. Well, I don't see you here.
Yeah.
That's I see an empty chair by the CEO desk.
Probably a good point.
Oh, no, wait, filled with me?
It's Michael Chiklis.
Yes, it's Michael Chiklis on CNN. Whereas if Kamala Harris is interviewing for the job, picture someone who doesn't answer any questions.
Yeah.
At all. What would you say are your greatest strengths? That's a very good question. And I think we all have strengths. that are unique to us, and it's important to combine everyone's different strengths for one great, bigger strength of all the strength. Okay, what would you say are your biggest weaknesses? That's a very important question. Identifying your weaknesses is something that's hard and it's necessary. What job are you applying for? Anything. If you were interviewing someone for a job, Kamala Harris, with no policy, right now she's going to roll it out next week, they say on CNN, she'd never be considered. And I know this because we hire people all the time.
Yeah, there's no way.
And if someone like Kamala made it through our vetting process, she would be fired immediately.
Well, we would switch people in the vetting process.
Yes.
She shouldn't even make it through that. Really quickly, let me go back to what you asked about the early voting. So Minnesota is earliest at September 20th, and a few states on the 21st for early voting after that.
That is before that third debate that he's agreed to.
It's before the third debate, and it's soon enough after the first debate that full momentum switch may not actually be felt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, look, I don't know if she can go. Maybe it can happen. Maybe she just does the debate and that's it and it's done and she goes into voting and just hopes for the best because she knows she's so weak at this. I really do think that that's probably what they would like the most. But can you imagine her going from now until the election and not actually answering any questions?
Right.
Put the debate aside. A town hall, right? A town hall, even with somebody who's friendly, is going to be difficult because sometimes audiences, get to ask some of the questions.
So you do a town hall at Friendly's.
I think she does take some. I think eventually she takes some questions and they're going to be answered. I mean,
non-answers.
Very much like you said, like you were being funny, but that is how she answers questions.
Well, how about answers?
It's exactly how she answers every question.
Like this answer we have right here.
We all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But just limited to what we have seen.
Okay. Wonderful. Hey, by the way, we are going to have Trump Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt on, but exclusively here on Mug Club because those, of course, who are supporters of Mug Club, we owe you that. Yeah. And we'll probably get the highlight reel out there on social. So you can follow her if you're watching right now, K Leavitt NH on X. And we're going to fix some technical issues here to make sure that she can call in and we can make it happen. Click that button if you're watching on Rumble. And I guess, we're back to thank you, Rumble. YouTube, this is just tradition because I've apologized and I've atoned for my sins, but piss off.